It's time for Be in the Driver's Seat with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and mental health expert, Dr. Teresa Moore. A Saturday morning mix of cars, credit, and wellness created just for you.
Brought to you by Joe Lunghammer Chevrolet of Waterford.
Plan your next vehicle purchase or get your credit rolling in the right direction with Regina today. And now, Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and Dr. Teresa Moore.
Good morning, good morning. You're listening to Be in the Driver's Seat, and I am Regina Eileen Woodard, a.k.a. the Queen of Car Loans. And sitting right next to me every Saturday morning from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. is my favorite business partner, Dr. Teresa Moore.
Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. T. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, everyone. And who is absent this morning is Gil Garrett, the police, a.k.a.
Trust the process.
Trust the process is missing this morning because he is traveling. We miss you, Gil.
Yeah, hurry on back in the studio. You done left me.
Oh, it's one-on-one now, not two-on-one, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So when I say two-on-one, that means the Gil, Garrett, and Dr. T against me. So two-on-one.
Never that. I bring the balance.
You bring the balance?
I do.
Ooh, okay. Well, let's go ahead and bring this balance on this morning. So we're excited about our show today. We have Brenda Davis. I almost said her whole government name, and she wants to kill me every time. Brenda Davis, the realtor that moves you. She'll be on shortly on our show.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to what she has to share today. I love when Brenda comes on the show. We always leave with more news we can use.
So we want you to sit down and get your pencil and paper ready because Brenda Davis, the realtor that moves, is going to be talking about foreclosure. So you guys got to get your pen and your paper ready for that. So, but get your pen and paper ready for the things that we're going to share during our segment. And then on the other half of our show, we're going to have
Alan Garbacik from Stockton Mortgage. So make sure you listen. So if Brenda D. Davis with Century 21 Town and Country and Alan Garbacik with Stockton Mortgage will end out our show today. So we are excited for what they will share.
You know what? It's always being excited about what people share, but we always want you to have your pen and pencil ready, right?
Pen and paper.
Can't even talk. Your pen and pencil.
Tongue-tied here, y'all.
Right, tongue-tied this morning. Tongue-tied. But you know what? We want to go ahead and get started with our show. But today's word of the week is commitment. Ooh. What does commitment mean to you? You guys already know. When I think about commitment, I always got to drag it back and put it a part of the car business, right? Commitment. What is commitment? Regina, what do you think commitment means? Well, when it comes to the car business, if you look for that certain salesperson, that certain dealership that you deal with where you buy your car from, you can buy your car at one place, right? But you can do business as getting your vehicle serviced at another dealership, right? So wherever the place that you commit to, right? That word, commitment, you're obligated to them. So it's all about the commitment. What are you committed to? So commitment to me is if you pick that dealership or that salesperson you want, you're committed to that person. You know, I sold a vehicle to Arthur McClellan and Melissa McClellan on Saturday, right? And they could go anywhere and buy a car, anywhere, you know. And Art chose me. The car was for Art, her husband, Melissa's husband, Art. And he said, we talked about why did he choose me and why did he choose the dealership? And he said, I love the things that you guys are doing in the community, you and Joe Lunghammer Chevrolet. What you're doing, your commitment to the community. Besides the relationship I have with his wife, but it was his decision, right? And the wife is going to support the husband with the decision, right? So it's the commitment that we have to the community. Joe Longhammer does a lot of stuff with the Pioneer School District and myself and other things that we do in the community for our people. So he loved that commitment. So what's commitment to you, Dr. T?
So commitment to me as a therapist is being committed to the counselor-client relationship. That means when you come through the door, I'm committed to being the best version of myself for you. I'm committed to listening to you. We're partnering together. I'm committed to helping you reach your goals and your treatment goals and getting to where you want to be. And then as a Christian, commitment to me is making my election sure, knowing that I choose Christ every day. So it's a daily commitment to be who I claim to be. So commitment to me is really showing up, being who I say that I'm going to be, and then follow through. Commitment means executing.
I love that because you did two things. You put commitment far as with what you do being a therapist, and then you also put it far as Christ. You have two commitments. Those are two huge commitments. Well, thanks for sharing.
I got about more than that because commitment as a wife and a mother.
Well, yeah, I knew you was going to go there
sister.
too. I knew you were going to go there too. But we won't have enough time because you'll be on this commitment for another hour because that's how strong.
Y'all see how she treats
me
because Gil ain't here. Y'all see this?
You got to make up for that love.
Yeah,
So, I want to change directions here, and we got that commitment piece out, but we just want to know, what is your commitment for whatever you do? What is your commitment? When you buy a car, you lease a car, and you sign that contract, that's a commitment to buy that car, to pay that car payment every month, to get your credit together. That's a commitment. So what is your commitment today? What's your commitment next year? What's your commitment tomorrow? When you think about the goals that you have, the things that you want to do, what's your commitment towards your goals? What is your commitment to things that you want to do in life? Mm-hmm. So commitment it comes with a lot of things up under it, right?
Yeah. Commitment also, you have to think about preparation when you talk about commitment, right? So commitment is I'm committed to doing X, Y, Z. So when I think about goals, right, I think about being committed. Like, what does that look like? Are you talking about 2 weeks? Are you talking about 2 months? So I think with commitment, it needs some baby steps along the way, especially in therapy.
Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps.
I love it.
You don't just jump out and we're not going to commit to doing something that's strenuous for 2 hours, right? Mm-hmm. So let's start with 2 minutes and then increase. Remember, we talked about being committed to prayer a few weeks ago, and I talked about if I told you to pray for 30 minutes, most people will be like, what? But you have to build yourself up. So commitment means that I'm going to take one step at a time until I reach the goal, but I'm committed enough to not give up. So commitment is staying on the task or staying on in the position and don't give up. That's commitment.
So don't give up. That's commitment. So we're gonna switch. We're just gonna switch a little bit to talk about cars. And today I want to share with you. And you better have your pencil and paper ready for this one because I'm about to give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you on the radio because usually I give it to you on my YouTube channel or the reels that I do. And let me just tell you, you just need to go to our YouTube page, Be in the Driver's Seat, Be in the Drivers with S, and subscribe. Everybody listen to us. We need you to go back and because we're looking to get our YouTube channel up. We're looking to grow our Facebook page, Be in the Driver's Seat. We're at, I think, 944 followers. By the end of the month, we would like to get that up to 1,000. So we're almost there. So go to our Facebook page and Be in the Driver's Seat. And you know what? Follow us there. So 3 tips to get in a car with no credit score. 3 tips to get in a car with no credit score. You guys know I've been in this business for 25 years, and I want to give you the blueprint because that's what I do. I want to give you the blueprint. And number one tip to get into a car with no credit score is to have money down. Don't walk into the dealership and say, I don't have any money. And you don't have a credit score. I don't have any money. I want to see if I can do a 0 down. Well, you need to come with ammunition. Whether that's $500, whether that's $1,000, whether that's $1,500. You might not have any money, but maybe you can go borrow some money. I don't know. Or maybe you got a trade-in that might be worth $1,000 or $500. But just come in with something. Don't come in with, I can't use this word because we on the Detroit Praise Network, but don't come in with, your toe hanging out the window. You know what I mean? Did I say your toe hanging out the window?
You absolutely said your toe. But I'm listening to you, and it's like, come in with something. Let us work. Come in and let us work with something. Don't come in empty-handed.
Amen.
Give me something to work with. And that's the same way, as a therapist. Come in, give me something to work with. Don't come in barehanded, because I've realized that when people come in with something, they're intentional and they're ready to get things done.
So the second tip is buying a car that is affordable. We all want to get that dream car, but are you able to get that dream car the first time, your first start? No, you're not. I always got to go back to my story. I remember, in my 30s, was I in my late 20s and in my 30s, and I wanted to go buy a house. This is even before I even, got my other mother, Brenda D, the realtor that moves you with Century 21 Town and Country. Even before I met her, I was out. If I had her in my life then, I would be so much farther ahead. But I wanted to go buy this $200,000 house, right? And you know what I had to go do? I had to get that $70,000 house. Right? But I wanted to go run down the street and hadn't even started walking. So I had needed to take those baby steps. Yeah. I do remember that first house, but I wanted to get that big house. And I hadn't even started crawling down to my first house. Yeah. So how do you do that? You don't. So you got to buy a car that you can afford.
You know what, Regina? I remember when my very first car was a blue car, and I got it from Allen Ford for $485.
You paid cash for it?
I paid cash for it. It had 2 holes in the back, and it had more rust than color. But at that time,
where was the holes at?
The hose was in the back on the floor, right? So I felt like we was the Flintstones.
You had your own air conditioning. You had your own.
Yeah, but wait, I had more than that, because when it rained, I had my own bathtub in the back too. And when you on the highway, I had my Kmart bags flying out the hole. But I say that because I was walking first, and when they pulled up, they drove the car to my house too. It was so bad. They drove it to me, but all I had was that $485, and people laughed at me. But I was walking first. And I had to get in that car and drive it, and then wake some money and get a newer car. But it doesn't matter where you start, right? It matters where you finish.
Well, amen. Can you say that one more time?
It doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you finish. So if you can't get a $100,000 car today, take that $15,000 car and build up to where you want to go.
So, the bottom line is you need to build up. You got to build up. You got to build up from the ground up. You got to build. So don't be upset if you got to get something maybe you don't want the first time. You got to open up. You got to open it up. But the third tip, if you have no credit score, is have a cosigner. Have a cosigner. And people say, I don't want no cosigner. Well, why not? Why you don't want no cosigner? Because you want to do it on your own? Did you come in this world on your own? No, because your mama had to have you, right? And she needed your daddy to make her, for y'all to have that, for them to have you. So when you talk about getting your first vehicle and you have no credit score, if you can obtain a cosigner, you get that cosigner. And people say, well, I don't want a cosigner because it's not helping me. Well, it doesn't matter whether the person's first, second on the loan, both parties are going to get credit. And let me just give you this real quick tip. Is that the reason they put the cosigners first on the loan and you go second, even though you're supposed to be the cosigner is supposed to be second, right? And you're supposed to be first. But the reason they put that cosigner first because they want you to get a better rate and a better interest rate.
Listen, I appreciate cosigners, right? But one of the things I've learned is most people don't want to cosign because people don't hold their end of the bargain up. So if somebody is cosigning for you, be respectful. Be respectful and let them do it. And I'm telling you, if it had not been for my uncle co-signing and believing in me, I wouldn't have been in new vehicles. So a co-signer is not a bad thing. And then,
one thing that you can do is to get a co-signer off the loan is that you refinance that loan. The great thing about the company that I'm an agent at, and Kathy, the financial coach, is a part of the company that we work for that does credit restoration. We refinance auto loans. We refinance now auto loan. So if you in that high interest rate and you want to get that rate lower, you can reach out. You can get in my inbox, and say, hey, Regina, I want to refinance my auto loan. My interest rate's high. And we'll have to see what we can do for you. So that was a little pitch. But we'll be right back. We're going to come back with Brenda
D. Davis.
D. Davis, the realtor that moves you. Brenda D. Davis with Century 21 Town and Country. We'll be right back.
Hi, Joe Longhammer from Longhammer Chevrolet here with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. What kind of deals you have right now, Regina?
This tax season, I'll match your down payment up to $500 on any new or used vehicle.
So if a customer brings $250,
I'll make it $750.
if they bring $500,
I'll make it $1,000.
when you come in, just ask for Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Ha! It's good to be the Queen of Car Loans.
Yes, Joe knows.
To find me and this limited time deal, Google Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Hi, I'm Dave Wilkie, service manager at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Since the 1950s, Joe Longhammer and his family have been honored to service your vehicles. With 112 years of combined service experience, we can take care of any concern you might have. From warranty work to routine oil changes, we treat your vehicle like our own. Call now to schedule a next service appointment at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Stop by anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get your vehicle serviced right every time. Call 248-683-7100. That's 248-683-7100.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Looking to buy or sell your home? Whether you're relocating to Michigan from another state or another country, moving across town, upgrading, or downsizing, Brenda D. Davis from Century 21 Town and Country Real Estate is your locally known home purchase expert. Buying or selling your home is a complex process. Let Brenda simplify it every step of the way. Brenda D. Davis, the realtor that moves you. Call 248-909-9711 and get moving on your new home purchase or sale today. That's 248-909-9711. Call now.
You are still listening to Be in the Driver's Seat, and we have Brenda D. Davis from Century 21 Town and Country joining us. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning, Dr. T. Good morning, Regina.
Good morning. Did you guys know how she said? She don't say Regina. How do you say it?
Listen, she started singing. Regina started just singing, y'all. So
She
everybody's
did.
singing.
She's totally responsible, so now she's got us in gear.
Listen, I'm so excited this morning, Brenda. So you're going to be talking about foreclosure. Let's get into it.
Did you say floor? You said floor closure.
See, they messing with me this
No,
morning.
what you said?
Wait a minute.
You
So
said
she,
floor. Didn't you say floor, Brenda?
Regina was tongue-tied
See, you
earlier,
said
and now she
floor.
didn't rubbed off on me. But it is
You said floor.
foreclosure.
Okay.
It's
All right.
foreclosure.
Okay.
So, Brenda, let's get into it.
Okay.
I got my pen and pencil.
I've got some really good
Your
information.
pen, wait a minute. Your pen and pencil or your pen and
Pen,
paper?
pencil, and paper.
Oh, so
I got
I'm really
the
rubbing
3
off on you.
P's today.
I'm
okay?
really rubbing off on you.
Listen, y'all, they are attacking me in that studio.
Well, listen. Take Dr. T's advice and get your 3 P's, your pen, your pencil, and your paper. And be ready to copy down this information because there's going to be really good stuff that I'm going to present to you today. First, we're going to talk about foreclosure. As you know, foreclosures are the result of either delinquent payments to your lender on your mortgage, or they're usually due to pay delinquent property taxes. And so I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about that, how that foreclosure process works, and what you can do to possibly be able to redeem yourself or to sell your property during that redemption period. So first of all, we're going to talk about the property tax foreclosure. You know, if you get delinquent, if your taxes are behind to, I believe it's 2019 forward, that or prior, you can be in a foreclosure situation with Wayne County Treasurer. And if you are delinquent with your mortgage payments, then that will result in foreclosure because you have failed to make your mortgage payments timely. When you are delinquent for either of the two reasons, a homeowner who is actually living in the home, it must be owner occupied. Let's make sure that we make note of that. You must live in the property which is in danger of going into foreclosure. You would have a 6-month, what they call redemption period. That redemption period will begin the day of the sheriff's sale. A sheriff's sale is when either the mortgage company or a third party goes to an auction, held by the city of Detroit, or Wayne County, I should say, and people bid on the property. More often than not, it's your lender that's going to make the bid on the property to buy it, and they will hold it for a 6-month period of time. That gives you time in which to bring your payments current or to even sell the property. So you still have some rights, even though your home has actually gone into foreclosure and the sheriff's sale has commenced. So my comment to you is this: please don't delay. Do what you can to either save your property by making your payments current or by redeeming your payments and keeping that property. Know that there are programs that are available to you through Wayne County Treasurer. It's my understanding that Eric Sabri, our property tax treasurer, has approached the Third Circuit County Court and has gotten extensions on the foreclosure program because quite a bit related to COVID and the situations that people and the hardships that people had experienced because of COVID. There is a possibility that you can go in to the treasurer's office. You have until March 31st, so time is of the essence, and enter into some type of an agreement to get your property taxes paid up current. Sometimes they will waive some of the fees and the interest. They may even reduce the amount that you owe. But it's imperative that if you want to maintain your property, that you just don't sleep on this and think it's going to go away, because it's not. And we don't want to see you lose your property when there are different things that you could have done to avoid that process. But please contact by phone or go into the treasurer's office, which is downtown in Greektown, and make necessary arrangements to enter into a payment agreement. Do something to keep your home and to keep your family in the home that you currently own.
So these programs that you're talking about, we're talking about Wayne. What about, do you have any information on Oakland, or we're just speaking to the Wayne
I'm
right
speaking
now?
to Wayne County today. I think what I'm going to do on our next segment is to go into Oakland County, because time is of the essence here, but I realize that March 31st date is also coming up for those people in Oakland County. But I will say this: if you're having a hardship, know that Governor Whitmer put into an effect the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund. I'm going to say that again: Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund. And the acronym is M like Michael, IHAF like Frank. And it's there to assist homeowners who have COVID-related hardships as of January of 2020, January 21st, 2020. It's also for those who had hardships prior to that date and then continued thereafter. So know that there is a program in effect that you can reach out to perhaps get some money. Now, it's my understanding that this program provided $242 million in American Rescue dollars to help Michiganders pay back their taxes and for other needs. Homeowner applicants for this, I'll call it MIHAF program, can qualify for the extension to redeem their properties through March of this year. So it's very imperative that these next, 3 or 4 days of March, that you use them to your best benefit to contact the treasurer, be it Wayne or Oakland County, to find out what you can do to either enter into a repayment program or to find out if you qualify for this MIHAF program. So again, I cannot impress upon you strongly enough the urgency and the need for you to act upon this immediately. Now, if all else fails, getting back to the foreclosure itself, if your home is already in that state, if the sheriff's sale has already been held, then know that time is of the essence in that situation as well. You are still considered the homeowner of that property, so you have the rights of a homeowner to put that property on the market, to sell it, and to pay off the debt, be it for property taxes or to your lender. Time is of the essence, so 6 months period is all you have in which to redeem that property. You must occupy that property as a homeowner. This is something that's imperative, but even if it's an investment property, you still have some rights under the law that which would allow you to sell that property prior to that 6-month redemption period expiring. So let's do that. It's also my understanding that this 6-month period applies to homeowners, but quite honestly, I represented a client a few months ago, and we thought that she would have only 6 months in which to redeem the property. And when we received the letter from the sheriff's cell, it indicated that she was good for a year.
Wow.
So I don't know if that had to do with the fact that we were just coming out of the pandemic or what, but she was extended 12 months. But I don't think that's the norm. I think things are starting to settle down and get back to the norm with regards to the length of time that you have to redeem your property.
Wow. You know, Brenda, most people, when you talk about foreclosure, it's almost as if they feel like there's no hope.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no hope. And the reality of it is, if people really could prevent foreclosure, I'm sure they would.
Yeah.
Especially people who have been in their homes for a while. And when we have hardships like that, like what has happened in the last 3 years, it's imperative to have programs. So I'm thankful for Eric for, him having this program. Mm-hmm. But Brenda, what if I'm listening and it's after the 31st? What if I'm listening and we're now in April? Should I still reach out and go down to the treasurer's office to see if this, maybe they extended it, or maybe there's additional programs that can help me?
I would certainly encourage you to do that. I wouldn't by any means tell you not to, but I don't want you to even be in that kind of position where the deadline has already passed and you're sitting there saying, can you help me?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm sharing this information with you now. So it's very imperative that while you have this period of time to utilize to your benefit, that you don't delay. When we get done with this show, I would say get in your car and drive downtown
Yeah.
But you know what? That's why we need to give your number out right now, because that's important, because, Brenda comes on our show once a month and we share great information. We want you to start using her. We want you to start using the fact that, you can give her a call. Give her a call at 248-909-9711, 248-909-9711. And I'm just giving her number early is because you guys just need to know, when you have a person that can share information that can help you buy a house, she can help you buy your investment property, help your family buy a house, or your friends, your neighbors. We come as a team here at Be in the Driver's Seat.
Yeah.
You know what, and now that you bring that up, I want to say this, is that the program that I talked about, the MIHAF, they will give up to $25,000 per household. That is huge. And I'm going to give you...
can you say that one more time?
They give you up to $25,000 per household for homes that are owner-occupied.
Who is they?
The government.
Okay.
Governor Whitmer implemented this program, and she's extended $242 million to implement this program. So each homeowner would be eligible to receive up to $25,000. So thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Governor Whitmer.
Hats off to her. She is doing some wonderful things for us here in this state. But also thanks to Eric Sabri for what he's done. Our treasurer of Wayne County. But I'm going to give some information because I don't want you to miss out on this. This program, again, the acronym is MIHAF like Frank. And you can reach them via email, mihafwaynecounty.com. Again, that's MIHAF like Frank, WCTO at waynecounty.com. And that's who you would contact to see if you could be eligible for this MIHAF program that's available. There are other options to help you stay in your home, including financial hardship extensions, and there's a program that's called Pay As You Stay programs and other programs as well. And to get information about that, you you can contact your treasurer by phone, or their website is https://www.michigan.gov/MSHDA/home ownership/MIHAF-homeowner-assistant.
All right, Brenda Davis of Century 21 Town and Country. Brenda D. Davis, the realtor that moves you. You can reach her at 248-909-9711. Let me say it for the people in the back. 248-909-9711. For the people in the front, 248-909-9711. All right, we'll be right back with Alan Garbacik with Stockton Mortgage and Brenda D. Davis, Century 21 Town and Country, where they do a segment together. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dave Wilkie, service manager at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Since the 1950s, Joe Longhammer and his family have been honored to service your vehicles. With 112 years of combined service experience, we can take care of any concern you might have, from warranty work to routine oil changes. We treat your vehicle like our own. Call now to schedule a next service appointment at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Stop by anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get your vehicle serviced right every time. Call 248-683-7100. That's 248-683-7100.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Hi, Joe Longhammer from Longhammer Chevrolet here with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. What kind of deals you have right now, Regina?
This tax season, I'll match your down payment up to $500 on any new or used vehicle.
So if a customer brings $250,
I'll make it $750.
if they bring $500,
I'll make it $1,000.
when you come in, just ask for Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Ha! It's good to be the Queen of Car Loans.
Yes, Joe knows.
To find me and this limited time deal, Google Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Hey, we're back, and you're still listening to Be in the Driver's Seat, what we call Bids Be in the Driver's Seat. And we're back and working with two of our favorite people today, Dr. T.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We got Alan Garbacik from Stockton Mortgage and Brenda D. Davis, the realtor who moves you from
Century 21
Y'all see,
Town and Country.
I ain't got
Century 21
tongue-tied.
Town and Country.
I thought I was getting ready to say it, but it's
So
She was trying, it just wouldn't come out.
So they're here, and we're going to be talking about buying and selling. You know, we just had a conversation during the break, and Alan and Brenda looked at each other and said, you know what, nobody should be stressed. And that's a tale, y'all, okay? Because anytime you put in the hot seat on anything that's going to cost you money, or you're not sure of the process, or you're not sure whether you're going to be approved, or you don't know what to expect, you are going to be in the hot seat, right? In the hot seat. But good morning, Alan. Welcome to the show today.
Good morning.
So let's talk. Let's talk. Brenda, Alan, who's going first?
So here's what I'm saying about buying and selling at the same time. I get clients that call me, get pre-approved, and they're like, "Hey, look, we have to buy and sell, but we're really freaked out about it because what if we're homeless?" And I always tell them, "Don't worry about it. Brenda's got you. That's it. Let Brenda do all the stressing for you guys. That's it."
But wait, now, but they got to be. Hold on, Alan.
Yeah.
So they got to be a pre-approved before they just go and talk to Brenda Denise Davis, though. I mean,
100%.
Brenda D. Davis, the realtor that moves you, trying to get out the hatch. I said her full name. But yeah, I mean, they got to be a pre-approved first, right?
They do. So
Now that's stressful.
I absolutely, but I walk them through the process. I make it as easy and seamless as possible. And once we get that pre-approval done, then it's time for them to start shopping, start looking at getting their house listed, getting everything ready to go. and shopping for that new house as well, all in that same swoop. So that's where all the stress comes, is where people say, you know what if I sell my house tomorrow and I don't find a new house for another month or 2 months? What do I do? How do I work my way through this? And there's some ideas that we have on the mortgage side to help them through it, and there's a lot of stuff that Brenda can do to really make sure that that's a good process for the client.
Okay, so I know that that's a very stressful situation, Alan, where homeowners want to sell their homes, but they're reluctant to do so because they think we're going to be homeless, as you said. There are some things that you can do to prevent that. We know that right now, what I've seen in the past month or so, it looks like the multiple offers situation is back again. It's resurfaced, and I think it's because of it's the time of the year. The mortgage rates, as you know, they haven't got as bad as people thought they would. In fact, they went down a little bit. They came up a little bit, gone down. So they're willing to weather the storm with regards to that because they know eventually the rates are going to come down and they can refinance. But inventory is still low. And so with that, we're seeing the multiple offers resurface again. So that's making it a little bit more difficult for buyers because they're up against competitive buyers who are willing to go above the list price. They're willing to waive home inspections. They're willing to waive appraisals. They're giving appraisal guarantees. All that's back at us again. But for that homeowner who wants to sell their property, don't be frightened to do so, because chances are right now, as the market stands, you may very well attract the multiple offers, which is going to drive the purchase price up, sometimes well above what you're asking. And then you just, you could probably go to you could go to your buyer and say, hey, look, we haven't secured a new home yet. We're going to need 60 days, 30 days, 45 days occupancy after closing. And that's something that can be negotiated quite often. The buyer is willing to give you that time at no charge at all. You can negotiate possibly that the buyer would give you 30 days at no cost and the balance of the 60 days at whatever the per diem is for their upcoming new mortgage rate or mortgage payment. So there are some options there. Or think about leasing something. I mean, the market is very good right now, and you don't want to miss out on it because you're reluctant and kind of afraid as to where you're going to go. Think about leasing something short term. You're not in a rush. Most investment properties, the owners of those properties want a commitment for at least a year. If you have to stay there a year, so be it. See how the market changes. See how the interest rates change. It could be very much to your benefit, but not to feel stressed out about it. Take advantage of what this market has to offer right now. I will say, and I think that Alan will agree with me, is that from the day that you or your buyer signs a contract, it's going to take up to 45 days to close. Unless you attract a cash offer, and why wouldn't you take that and run, right? But if you're going to finance your mortgage, it's going to take at least 30 to 45 days to close. That gives you some time to really be active in pursuing your home purchase search. So not to be discouraged, not to be afraid. Let God lead your steps, as I always say. And if it's meant for you, he's going to see to it that you have it. But just don't miss out on what's going on in our market currently. It can be very much to your advantage. So just think of some other options.
Brenda, you just made us feel very confident, right? You gave us a lot of tips, but Alan, I really want to go back to you because the pre-approval process. Now, in the beginning, we talked about, both of you on before we got on the show, you said we shouldn't be stressed. And I'm thinking, yes, because the pre-approval for somebody who's just coming in, there's a lot of things that they have to get in order, right? You have a list of things, I'm sure, that you asked that the potential buyer come in with. Can you kind of share what that looks like?
Absolutely. So I joke about this. I tell people that you're going to get financially naked with me. You're stripping down to your undies. I'm going to see everything, which is sometimes tough for people to swallow.
Stressful.
Right?
No, I want you to
Absolutely. But on the other side of
trying
it,
to make me vulnerable, right? I don't want to.
on the other side of it, I'm going to know all the different options on how to get you through this process the best way. And Brenda was talking about renting. Brenda was talking about some other options that people have if they can't find that house in the right time. I may have some options. You may be able to pull some money from your 401k as a loan to bridge you over that gap, get you into that new house, and still not have your house sold at that point. You may be able to do a bridge loan. That's kind of a unique thing, and I don't really like them too much because they're pretty expensive, but that could be an option for you. And these are options if the down payment is an issue, getting you into that new home. But we're going to get you financially naked, so we see every single bit of your finances, and we're going to find out what the best options and what the multiple different options are for you.
So, Alan, at that time, since I'm getting financially naked, as you say, right? At that time, you offer the best solution at that time for me, right? What if I'm in a situation where maybe it's not time to purchase? Will you give me tips to tell me what I should do?
Yes. So there's, let's say I pull credit and the credit's too low. And it's just not time for you to go through this process. I'll tell you, hey, look, here's some ideas on what to do to get your credit up. And once you do get the credit score up to where it should be, then let's take a look at this again. And I'll give them very specific instructions on what to do and how to do it. And then sometimes it's just the fact that they don't have enough equity in their house that they're selling to get enough for the down payment or whatever the case is. Then absolutely I'll tell them, hey, let's talk to Brenda about some strategies to get you more equity in that house. Because maybe it's redoing a kitchen, or maybe it's doing some painting or some little upgrades to build the value in that house to get you guys to that point. So,
I love the fact that you said do a little things in your house, because people don't realize what paint can do. Paint can take your house a long way with what? Building equity. New paint, new carpet. You know what I mean?
Tile,
if you don't have the money, or new tile, you don't have the money to do all these other things with your kitchen, right? But new paint goes a long way. New paint, new carpet, new tile, changing around something in your house. That goes a long way, right?
It really does. It really does. And I will speak to that because Alan says that he's going to take you down to your underwear in his evaluation of your credit position. Well, I'm going to take you down there too, because I'm going to be very honest and upfront with you. I'm going to share with you the good, the bad, and the ugly about your current home. And I'm going to do it because we're going to work together as a team to get your home sold as quickly as possible for the top dollar amount possible. And sometimes that means, hearing some things. And I will say to my clients all the time, when they ask me, well, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I put in new countertops, or should I paint this room? If it's an eyesore to you, then you can believe that it's going to be an eyesore to that prospective buyer. So yes, and yes, do something about it. And when I say that, it doesn't mean that you have to buy the top of the line, the best quality product, for instance, granite or countertops. You don't have to go with the most expensive. They have the lower price, the moderate price, and then the very off the chart top of the line granites. When you're looking at something as simple as paint or carpeting, or if you wanted to change the floor tile, again, there are different grades and different prices of that. So you don't have to go broke, because the idea is you're doing small things to improve the appearance of your home to make it appealing to that prospective buyer. What you're not trying to do is the equity that you're trying to get by improving these things to then spend all that and still wind up in the same position. So you have to be very careful about the improvements that you make in your home, the amount of dollars that you invest into it, to make the house appealing and therefore sellable for the highest dollar amount. But then that leads to another thing. If you're a homeowner, a new homeowner, and even if you're a homeowner and you're not thinking about selling your house right now, your home is an investment. And what you put into it, you'll get out. So if you're not in the market to sell now, when the day comes, make small improvements in your home. Make sure that the maintenance is kept up to date, because it's those type of things that will maintain the value and increase the value as well as your equity in that home. So just a few things that you might want to think about even prior to considering selling your home.
Wow, that's good information. I appreciate the fact that you talk about doing some maintenance in the home. Do you ever come across people who selling their house as is and are not going to do any updates or anything? Just I'm selling it. If you have someone that's headstrong like that, what is your suggestion to them?
Price it accordingly. Okay. Just be realistic. Mm-hmm. If you're pricing it as is or selling it as is, that the house needs some repair. So when we sit down and talk about a list price, let's work as a team and let's take those things into consideration. You can't expect to have your price up here and the condition of the house is down here. That's not balanced. You're going to either have to bring your price down or do some improvements. So if you want to sell it as is, I have no objection to that. Just be reasonable and be confident that I am still, even in that situation, going to try to get you the best possible price, but we're not going to price it as high as we might on a property that's already, completely renovated or has no issues with maintenance and that type of thing.
What about you, Alan? So what if I come to you and say, $50,000 is all I want. I'm just throwing a number. Mm-hmm. So how would you, tell me, what kind of house?
So if you say, hey, I got so let me start here. When I talk to a client that says, hey, I need to buy a house or I want to buy a house, the first two questions that I ask a client: how much do you have for a down payment, closing costs and escrows, and how much do you want that monthly payment to be? And then we work backwards from there. So that's definitely our approach there. So
we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back, and Alan will finish answering that question. Alan Garbacik with Stockton Mortgage and Brenda D. Davis, the realtor that moves you with Century 21 Town and Country. We'll be right back.
Hi, Joe Longhammer from Longhammer Chevrolet here with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. What kind of deals you have right now, Regina?
This tax season, I'll match your down payment up to $500 on any new or used vehicle.
So if a customer brings $250,
I'll make it $750.
If they bring $500,
I'll make it $1,000.
When you come in, just ask for Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Ha! It's good to be the Queen of Car Loans.
Yes, Joe knows.
To find me and this limited time deal, Google Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Hi, I'm Dave Wilkie, service manager at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Since the 1950s, Joe Longhammer and his family have been honored to service your vehicles. With 112 years of combined service experience, we can take care of any concern you might have. From warranty work to routine oil changes, we treat your vehicle like our own. Call now to schedule a next service appointment at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Stop by anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get your vehicle serviced right every time. Call 248-683-7100. That's 248-683-7100.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
You are still listening to Be in the Driver's Seat, and we have Alan Garbacik. Alan, when we went on break, we were talking about if a customer says that they have X amount of dollars that they want to spend, how do you guide that customer?
Sure. So right off the bat, we just kind of back in that number into, hey, what does that look like for a down payment, closing costs and escrows, and what's the mortgage amount that we could give them for that with that kind of a down payment. So a a lot of times, we were chatting about this on the break here real quick, but a lot of times a client will look at the monthly payment that we're proposing and say, oh my gosh, that's more than what I'm spending for rent. Mm-hmm. And it may be. A lot of times we can get you into a house with the same cost that you're paying for the rent, but sometimes it's a little bit more. And we were saying it's okay. Brenda had some good advice on that, but you got to be reasonable and make sure that you're able to make the payment. But if you have to struggle a little bit to make that payment, it's not the end of the world, because you got to think about this house as an investment. When you build up that equity and you sell this house and you go buy a new house, you're going to have the dollars in there to change your financial situation significantly.
Yeah. So, Brenda, what are your thoughts about that? I know we were talking on break. What are your thoughts about, where a person is, how they want to spend, the amount of money they want to spend, and how would you encourage them to, get out of that mindset of only spending $100, if you will? And I'm just throwing a number out.
Well, as Alan mentioned, it's quite possible that your monthly mortgage obligation could be more, it could be less than the expense you're incurring to be a renter. My thought is that it's always better to pay yourself. And a home is an investment, and you're investing in your future and that of your families. And when you look at the benefits of being a homeowner, and you guys have heard me say it time and time again, it's the best money you can ever spend. And so if that mortgage obligation is a little bit more than you think you can afford, you have to get your priorities in order and be willing to give up Starbucks coffee every day, or playing the lottery every day, or having that Hostess Twinkie every day, whatever the case may be.
Did you compare it to a dessert or what?
Yeah, but whatever your vice is,
your vice is, cut back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, again, order of priorities. A home is a very important asset, and it's something that we should open ourselves up to and entertain that thought and start getting ourselves prepared for that ownership. And as I said during the break, we have to let go of the fear. When my husband and I bought our first house, and I've probably told you this before, I was up all night long reading the closing docs, didn't know what it said even after I read it, shaking in my boots, telling him we can't afford this house. But guess what? Today, I can't tell you just what I had to give up to make that payment possible, because whatever it wasn't that important. Something that I didn't need anyway. Yeah. And when we bought the second house, I was really shaking in my boots, because I'm like, oh God, I won't be able to afford a pair of pantyhose. And I'm not kidding you, I was so serious.
Wow.
27 years later, the house is paid for. We've done numerous improvements and renovations, and we never skipped a beat. Yeah. So I'm saying that to say this: let's remove that fear factor and the apprehension. People have done it before you, and they're going to be people doing it after you. And once you take that step of faith and just realize that God would not have brought you to it if he couldn't see you through it, and just be responsible and do what you need to do. Make your monthly payments on time. Your property taxes and insurance are going to be included in your payment. So you don't have to worry about that. Out of sight, out of mind. But make certain that you make your payments on time. Love your house, because if you love your house, it's going to love you back. And when you get ready to sell it, you'll see just how much it loves you. It's been tradition that property values increase. And yeah, we saw a bad time back in 2008 where property values decreased, but that hasn't happened again since then, and we're not anticipating or forecasting that that's going to ever happen again. So just be faithful and do what you need to do to make that possible. We talked about equity. Yes, you earn equity in your home for every year you live there. 3 to 5%, would you say, is about the norm per year? Can fluctuate a little bit, but it takes you get some percentage of increase in your investment every year. With that said, who knows? You might want to take that money out to pay for your baby's college education. You want to take some money out to go to Disneyland. You might want to take some of the equity out to do some home improvement. There are any number of things that you can do with that money that you earn over time that's going to make your way of life and that of your families better. So look at it from different perspectives, and just take advantage of the opportunity and don't be afraid.
Alan, what are your thoughts about that?
I got a quiz for you guys.
A quiz?
Ready?
Yes.
We talked about this on one of the first shows that I did with you guys. What's the interest rate that you pay on rent?
Regina got that.
That's 100%. Because you're paying all of your money towards just somebody else's mortgage, not your own.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's deep. You really have to put that into perspective and say, you know what, if I want to do something for my family, for my well-being, I really need to get myself in a position to buy a house.
Wow. So listeners, you're hearing it here first. Like, this is news you really can use. Brenda was able to share some of her personal experiences with buying a house. Alan was able to share some tips on how he can help you get approved. So this is where you heard it first. Alan Garbacik with Stockton Mortgage and Brenda D. Davis, the realtor who moves you from Century 21 Town and Country. We appreciate you both being on today. This was some great information. And as a homeowner, I can appreciate hearing this today. So thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here with you.
How can they reach you, Alan?
I'm with Stockton Mortgage, and my phone number is 248-582-6680. We're locally here in Bloomfield Hills, 248-582-6680.
Brenda, how can we reach you?
I'm at 248-909-9711. You can also reach me on my website, BrendaDDavisRealtor.com. If you have any questions, please give me a call.
Yeah, such a great show today, Regina. So glad we had them in the studio. And we thank you all for listening to us.
See you same time next week. Same time, same place. And don't forget to tune in. Have a good week.
Hi, I'm Dave Wilkie, Service Manager at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Since the 1950s, Joe Longhammer and his family have been honored to service your vehicles. With 112 years of combined service experience, we can take care of any concern you might have. From warranty work to routine oil changes, we treat your vehicle like our own. Call now to schedule a next service appointment at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Stop by anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get your vehicle serviced right every time. Call 248-683-7100. That's 248-683-7100.
Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Looking to buy or sell your home? Whether you're relocating to Michigan from another state or another country, moving across town, upgrading, or downsizing, Brenda D. Davis from Century 21 Town and Country Real Estate is your locally known home purchase expert. Buying or selling your home is a complex process. Let Brenda simplify it every step of the way. Brenda D. Davis, the realtor that moves you. Call 248-909-9711 and get moving on your new home purchase or sale today. That's 248-909-9711. Call now.
Hi, Joe Longhammer from Longhammer Chevrolet here with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. What kind of deals you have right now, Regina?
This tax season, I'll match your down payment up to $500 on any new or used vehicle.
So if a customer brings $250,
I'll make it $750.
if they bring $500,
I'll make it $1,000.
when you come in, just ask for Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Ha! It's good to be the Queen of Car Loans.
Yes, Joe knows.
To find me and this limited time deal, Google Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
You've been listening to Be in the Driver's Seat with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and mental health expert, Dr. Teresa Moore.
Brought to you by Joe Longhammer Chevrolet of Waterford.
Be in the Driver's Seat, a Saturday morning mix of cars, credit, and wellness created just for you. From Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and Dr. Teresa Moore, thank you for listening.